Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to learn about the Newton's third laws of motion and law of conservation of momentum. But before starting these third laws of motion, we shall solve some of the question based on the Newton's second laws. So for that, I have collected some of the question from your textbook. We will discuss these questions, then we will go for Newton's third laws of motion. Student, we have already learned what is force, what is the definition of force, what is the unit of force, what is balanced force, what is unbalanced force, then what is Newton's first law, Newton's second law, how Newton's first law gives the measurement of force, means the formula force equals to mass into acceleration. We have also learned in previous video regarding what is momentum, what is change in momentum, what is the unit of momentum, what is impulse. So those things are very important to answer these questions. Okay, so student, if you have any doubt, then first please go through that videos, then you must try these questions. Okay, student, let us start with the first question. A figure is given here in which over a glass a cardboard is placed, and above that cardboard a coin is there. Okay, this is the coin, this is the cardboard, this is the glass of water. Say you are applying a kick to this cardboard, means gently you are applying some force over this cardboard. You are observing that the cardboard move forward, but the coin fall down. What it indicates? It explains which phenomena, means inertia of rest or inertia of motion, or both inertia of rest as well as inertia of motion. So student, we have to think regarding this coin. So what is happening to this coin? We have learned in Newton's first laws of motion that a body tends to maintain its previous state. Maintaining that previous state is called inertia. If the mass is more, means the heavier body, it have more inertia. Those things we have learned in our previous lecture. A student, here you are applying the force over this cardboard only. So while applying a force over this cardboard will move, but this coin, where direct force is not applied, so this coin will try to remain at rest. As a result, the cardboard will slip forward, but coin will try to remain at this state, I mean above the glass. But when there is no support like cardboard, what will happen? The coin will fall downward into the glass. Okay, so this way this coin have the tendency to remain at rest. Because of that, the coin will try to remain at its earlier position, means above the glass. But now when the cardboard is removed, so because of its gravity, this cardboard is not there, and now the coin is free to fall downward. Okay, so this is basically illustration of inertia of rest. So this is inertia of rest for the coins. So this coin try to remain at their own position, but no cardboard, therefore it have fallen downward. So answer is B. Any doubt, then a student may ask. Now coming to the other figure. This is the figure taken from your textbook. Here a player is catching a ball. So this is the cricket ball, this is the player. While catching the ball, the player moves his hand downward. Why? Why this hand is required to be moved downward? A student, this ball is moving, it must have some velocity or speed v. The ball also have some mass. So initially you are observing that this ball have a momentum mass into velocity. But to a stop means when the ball is catched and the ball is to be stopped by the player, this means its velocity means the final velocity becoming zero. Means the final momentum P2 we may call become, mass remains the same but velocity becomes zero, so it becomes zero. Okay, so because of this change in momentum, there is a change in momentum. It is given by delta P, means it is, finally you may consider this as 0 minus mv, so it is like our minus of mv. Now see, while catching it will take some time, maybe the fraction of time. So if that time is delta t and if you are dividing it, it will give you the force. So delta t, maybe your very small time may be written as delta t itself. So this way this force is applied by the ball over the hand. See, if this delta t is very small, so if this delta t amount is very small, it means the force F will be very, very large, because in denominator something very small is there. When the denominator of a fraction is very small, then its division value is very large. So if delta t is decreasing, this implies the force applied on the hand. This F indicate the force applied by the ball over the hand of the player. This will increase, means this will be very high. Now, but if when this delta t is small, if you are just catching the ball and holding your hand there itself, say the ball will come in your hand and you keep it there, means just within a fraction, even very small fraction of second, it will come to rest. You are just holding it there. But while catching the ball and bringing it down, so bringing your hand down, the time to stop the ball increases. Means delta t value increases when hand is brought down. Hand along with the ball. Okay, now this hand means ball is cast in hand, then it is brought down. Now see, when this delta t value means time when the hand was here and finally the hand have reached to here. So from here to here, the time taken I am denoting by delta t. So when delta t increases, it simply means the value of F. Now observe carefully this formula. The value of F, so delta t value have increased, means some denominator value have increased. So overall value will decrease. Example, you may understand like this. Say 3 divided by 10 is there, you will get just 0.3. But if the denominator is reduced, say 3 divided by, now if the delta t means the denominator value is, we may increase or decrease. Let us increase it further to 20. So this become how much? Point. So you have to divide it by 20. So 0.3 by 2. You may understand this. Or 0.15. Now see, when this denominator is increased from 10 to 20, the overall value have decreased. Okay, so that's why I'm saying when the delta T is increased, the force exerted on hand by the ball that increases. So this implies the thrust experienced by the player decreases, means the player will feel lesser injury in hand. So lesser thrust or injury to hand of player. So your hand will not experience that much force, so you will not feel any kind of beaten kind of experience. Okay, so to do this, the player is increasing the time to stop the ball by bringing its hand downward. This way, see, when this delta T value is increased, what about the change in momentum? Whether the change in momentum is increased or decreased. So the question is asking about the change in momentum. Now, a student, from where we are getting this force and time, it is correlating the Newton's second law. So in option, it is given in the term of Newton's second law. That is one option. That is correct. Additionally, if we talk in the term of change in momentum, which gives the impulse, we can also explain it. What is this impulse? Impulse or impulsive force is the force exerted on the hand. Here we are observing that while bringing the hand down, the impulsive force have decreased. That's why the hand is experiencing less injury. Okay, so this delta P or impulsive force over hand decreases. Impulsive force over hand decreases. So it is also in this form. So this impulse will not increase, rather this impulse will decrease. So these are the two correct options. So question may be asked in any form, whether it is illustrating Newton's second law, whether it is illustrating or explaining change in momentum or impulse, or to avoid the injury. So question may be asked in various forms. So the player is bringing their hand downward. The factor are written here in explanation. Okay, student. So you have to keep this thing in mind. Now let us come to a few numericals which will be helpful to understand Newton's second law. So body of mass 5 kg. So for solving the numericals, first we have to note down the data. So here the mass of the body is given. So draw a body, any object. So the mass of this object is given as 500 gram. Moving at a speed of, so this is also moving at a speed of 5 meter per second. Then we have to calculate its momentum. P is equals to 1. P denotes the momentum. Student, we are knowing that momentum P is given by mass into velocity or speed. Okay. Here, the mass is given in gram, but speed is given in meter per second. So these two are in different units. So it will neither be in SI nor be in CGS. So better to first convert it into the same unit, and preferable unit is the SI or MKS unit. So this mass need to be converted into kg. 500 gram means 500 divided by 1000, this much kg, means it is 0.5 kg. So this unit conversion is important. So here this is your 0.5 into 5, so it is 2.5. Unit is kg meter per second. Student, this is MCQs where the option may be given. Then find its momentum. Option A, it may be given as, say, 2500. It may be the only numerical value, or your kg meter per second, or B 25 kg meter per second, C 2.5 kg meter per second, D none of this, or 0.25 kg meter per second. So this way the options are framed in numerical to make it as MCQs. Here we are observing the momentum that we have calculated is 2.5. Okay, so the correct option is C. In the similar fashion, you also have to calculate the momentum in this question. So in this case, the mass of the body is given as 3 kg. Moving at the speed of, now the speed of this body is 20 centimeter per second. A student, again we are observing that this mass and speed are in different system of unit, so need to convert it into the same system. Mass in kg, no need to change. Convert this centimeter into meter. It means it become 20 divided by 100, that much centimeter, and the second need not disturb it. Okay, per second is there, so it become 0.2 in place of centimeter. Now it become meter. So this centimeter, this C word have to be removed. So this gets converted into this much meter per second. So this is momentum is given by mass into speed or mass into velocity. So this is our 3 into 0.2. So it is 0.6 kg meter per second. Okay, students. So it is this way the momentum is calculated. Now let us go for one more question based on this Newton's second law, where we have to calculate everything. This is the question. So here it is given that a body is there. A student, a body of 500 gram. So the mass of this body is 500 gram, means 0.5 kg. Started from rest. This has some importance. Means this body is initially at rest. So you may write this as V1 or U as 0. Okay. And it attains a new speed of 40 meter per second. Means the body is moving. So at this initial time or initially the body is at rest. But after some time it is given that after 10 seconds, let us consider after 10 seconds the body have reached here. At this t is equals to 10 seconds, this is the final position. It is stated that the speed means the velocity have increased to 40 meter per second. Okay, this way you have to draw this diagram. Mass remains unchanged, so you may write here mass is 0.5 kg, u is 0, means initial speed is 0. Here also means in the second stage or the final state, the mass m remains unchanged, but the speed have increased to 40 meter per second, and the time taken to move from this position to this position, this time is your 10 seconds. So it is this way. So now we have to calculate initial moment. Means this is the initial position, the very first. This one is the initial position. So at this initial position, what is its momentum. So right, this is your initial. This situation is, or this data is for the final. Time taken to reach from initial to final is 10 seconds. Therefore, in the first we have to calculate initial momentum. So right, initial momentum. We have learned momentum is given by mass of the object and the speed at that particular time. So I have to focus over this initial data to calculate the initial momentum. So it will be mass, or we may write this as initial momentum, denote as a P1. It is mass and initial speed u. So how much it become? Mass is 0.5 into u is 0. So this value is 0. Okay. So initial momentum is 0. This way this data comes as 0. Another is the final momentum. So what is the final momentum? Final momentum means momentum after the 10 second. So this data or second data can give us the final momentum. So right, final momentum. A student, final momentum means P2. In this case, the mass and the speed have changed to V. So this is given by mass remains the same and V. Now the V is 40. Are we getting? So we have to substitute this as 40. So 40 multiplied by 0.5, it becomes 20. The unit is very important, kg meter per second. So this is the other answer. This was the first answer. For 0, unit is not important, so you can leave the unit, but for some other data, unit is very important. Otherwise, your marks may be deducted. So these two things are calculated. The final is 20 meter or kg meter per second. Write this, 20 kg meter per second. Now, a student, what is the change in momentum that we want to calculate? What is the change in momentum? Just you have to take the difference. What is change in momentum? For calculating the change in momentum means denoted by the formula as delta P, written as P2 minus P1. Here we have calculated this P2 and P1. Means this is the value of P2, final one. This is the value of P1. Here we have denoted this P1 and here as the P2. So we may just substitute this data. So 20 minus 0, it is also 20 kg meter per second. A student, here we are getting the change in momentum is same as final momentum, because the initial momentum P1 is 0. If P1 is not 0, say P1 is coming as 5, then this difference P2 minus P1 will also change. Okay, then it will be 20 minus 5 is equals to 15 kg meter per second. So this way the change in momentum we have to calculate. Now, a student, it is our 20 kg meter per second. Next one is, what is the impulse? So let us go for impulse. What is the definition of impulse? Impulse is nothing but it is simply the change in momentum. So whether change in momentum is asked or impulse is asked, mean the same thing. So it is the same thing. So it is also 20. Whatever this value we have calculated, you have to just substitute it. So it becomes our 20 kg meter per second. Okay, this is the other answer. Now the fifth one is, what is the force? Force is what? Force is change in momentum by the time taken to change that moment. It is given by delta P by delta T. That was the definition, because rate of change of momentum is called force. Here change in momentum delta P we have calculated. See, means the impulse 20 kg meter per second we have calculated, and delta T is given here. This value represent you the delta T. Okay, whether we have denoted by T or delta T mean the same thing. So it is given as 20 kg meter per second, and the delta T time or time interval to change is our 10 second. So it is our 10 second. Now observe it. This will get cancelled. Whatever left will be the 2. But unit wise, in numerator it is kg meter per second, and denominator there is also one more second. So we can write this as kg. Very good. So becomes kg meter per second square. Okay. So this is the difference, that for force the unit is kg meter per second square. Now a student, the sixth one is, what is asked is the acceleration.
V minus U by T.
See a student, since mass force equals to mass into acceleration, this implies if we are knowing the force, then acceleration can be calculated just by dividing the force by the mass of the object. Here the force we have calculated, see, calculated here the force in this fifth case. So it is 2, and mass of this object is already given, it is our 0.5. So 0.5 it become, so that point have to be removed by 4, so it become 4. Acceleration, what is the unit of acceleration? It is a meter per second square. Okay, it is this one. See, this acceleration can also be calculated by other method, by applying the definition. Acceleration is given by v minus u by t. This way we can also calculate. What is the v here? It is given that the v final speed 40, the u initial speed 0, by the time taken means the delta t, it is our 10. Still you are getting 40 by 10, means it is our 4 meter per second square. So this is very important. So this numerical explains everything. So when the body is changing its speed, there is change in momentum. Because of change in momentum, the impulse is there or the force is there, and acceleration can also be calculated. Okay, student? So this is very important numerical. You must go through this and try to solve such numerical by your own from our textbook and other practice book. Now, student, let us go for the other topic called Newton's third laws of motion. Okay. So Newton's third laws of motion is very simple. Statement wise, it simply tells that when you are applying some force over an object, then that object also applies or generates a force over you. And these two forces are always equal and opposite. So consider you are applying a force or a wall is there. Consider this as the wall. You are applying a force F is there over this wall. You observe that the wall is not able to move. Why? Because a reaction force, say by your palm you are applying this force, then a reaction force from the wall over your palm also generated. This wall start applying a force on your palm. So this force which is generated by wall. Keep in mind, if the wall is free, you are not applying the force over the wall, wall will not generate any force. So this force which is generated, so wall generated a force when external force is applied over it. External force is applied over it. What is this external force? This F is the our external force. Whatever this F we are denoting, it is the external force. External means from the outside you are applying some force applied on wall. It simply means that. So while you are applying a force over the wall, this force, so this force is called as your applied force, and the force generated by wall, so wall generates the force. It is not existing permanently, but it's generated because of the applied force, is called your reaction force. The reaction force. This reaction force generally denoted by R. So this force, we are denoting it by R. So R exists or arises when F applied. If F is removed, R will not exist. So R is called the reaction force. So it is not the actual force, but a force generated in reaction to the applied force. And this external force applied is called action force. Action or action force. This R is called as your reaction or reaction force. Or reaction force. A student, the Newton's third law tells that this action force means when you are applying certain force over another object, the other object also start exerting the same amount of force over you, but their direction is opposite. This is the applied force. This is the force which is generated in this stationary body while this force is applied. So this internal force arises because of applied force is called the reaction force. So its amount is same as the applied force, so that the applied force can be balanced. So keep in mind, this law tells that action and reaction are equal. Are you getting? Action or action force are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. But opposite in direction. This law tells this way. In many books, or the alternate form of writing this statement is action and reaction are equal and opposite. Simply that way. Or to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. So most commonly used statement is like this: to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. So this you have to keep in mind. I had explained the action and reaction. Action is the applied force or externally applied force, and reaction is the force which is generated because of the applied force. Okay, student? Now, the important thing is that action is because of the external applied force, but reaction is just in response to that applied force. So this action and reaction are always acting on two different body. Example, consider this is your table. Okay, this is the table, and over this table you have placed your book or any or a box over it. Okay, now this box, because of its mass, it have a tendency to fall down. If this bench or this table is not there, automatically it will fall down and lay on the ground. Means what? This box is always applying some force over this table. Are you getting? So if I draw the magnified version, means there is always some gap. Means this mass will apply a force wherever there is area of contact. We will learn later that the friction generated because of area of contact. So at all the contact points, certain force is applied over this table surface. In response to this, I have make a gap just you people to understand, but they are nearly just touching each other, or even they are touching each other. Now this table will exert a force over this, over the box. This is the box. Means this table will also exert an upward force. So to represent this, we are always using this single denotation like this. So the downward force acting on this table is denoted by its weight called as mg. We will see this later. And the upward force exerted by this table over this box, this is the balanced or reaction force. Therefore, weight is action force and upward force by table to hold it is reaction force. Because if table is not there, there will not be reaction force. The box cannot hang in air. Okay, so therefore this weight is always equals to the reaction force R. It is this one. Here we are observing that this action force act on the table. So action by the box over the table, act on table, and this action force is generated by the box, but reaction force act on the mass or the box. So what we are observing? Action act on other object, say table, but reaction acts on the other object, the box. So this action and reaction force are always acting on two different objects, so they never cancel each other. So this action and reaction force cannot act as a balance force for an object. That is the important observation we have to write. So write, students, action and reaction acts on different object or different body in contact, maybe in contact or maybe acting at certain distance also. Okay. So this action and reaction are always acting on different object, so they cannot cancel each other. They cannot cancel each other. This we have to keep in mind. So cancellation of these two, action and reaction force, are not possible. Okay. So they cannot, it is cancel. Getting? So this action and reaction force cannot form as a balance force. Balance force means many forces acting on the same object and their resultant become zero. So what we have to keep in mind? We have to keep in mind that if there is some action force, surely there will be some reaction force. So what are the various practical example or practical application of this Newton's third law? Very first is called recoiling of gun. You might have observed, while the soldier wants to fire a bullet, he always keeps the gun along with his body. Okay, he keep it like this, then he will fire the bullet. Why so? A student, it is because when the bullet is fired in forward direction, the gun moves backward. So this backward movement of gun is called recoiling of gun. Say if you are considering, let me draw the gun, not the actual gun, but consider a virtual gun only. Okay. The bullet is present initially inside this gun. When this trigger is pressed backward, you will observe that this bullet will come forward. So bullet have very lesser mass in comparison to the entire mass of this gun. So entire mass of this gun may be considered as capital M. The smaller mass of the bullet may be considered as small m. So when this trigger is pressed, this bullet start moving forward with some speed, say v, and this v is very high. Then it is observed that this gun also recoils backward, means move backward. If we consider this as capital V, then this backward movement of this gun is called recoiling of gun. So write this. This recoiling means backward movement of gun when the bullet is fired forward? Okay, students. So this backward movement, when the bullet is fired forward, automatically this backward motion generated. Okay. Then by Newton's second law, we can say whatever the momentum of this bullet in forward direction, when the bullet is fired, means later on this situation become like this. The bullet will continue to move in forward direction. Let me draw this bullet. So this have the tendency to move forward. This have the mass m, but this gun this start moving backward. This have the mass capital M. So the two system, I mean the two part now get separated. So in this case, it is observed that whatever the forward momentum, means this is the forward momentum, of bullet, this is calculated by m into v. This is the reverse or backward momentum of empty gun after firing, after losing the bullet or firing the bullet. A student, here we are considering the mass of gun excluding the mass of bullet. Okay. So it is found that these two momentums are always equal and opposite. Means you will observe reverse movement of the gun multiplied with its mass is equal and opposite to the momentum of the bullet, m into v. Students, this negative sign indicates reverse direction. Okay, student, this we have to keep in mind. Only this much derivation is, or only this much formula is important. Based on this, the question is also framed. A student, this was the first application. I will solve some of the question, or let me take a numerical also. So right, a gun of mass 4 kg contains a bullet of mass 20 gram it is this one. If the bullet is fired at a speed of, let us say 400, or let me take 500 meter per second. This is the speed of the bullet which is coming out of the gun. Then find the recoil speed of gun. This we want to calculate. Students, such question are asked. It is very easy. So you have to just understand. We are given with a gun. Initially, the bullet might be inside this. So it is given that gun of mass means excluding the bullet mass, it is given. It is our 4 kg. And a bullet, you may keep this bullet even inside this, or maybe the outside itself you may keep. So for this bullet, the mass is given as 20 gram. First convert the unit, means it become 0.02, means divided by 1000 kg. Now it is found that this bullet starts moving forward at the speed of 500 meter per second. Means the speed of bullet that we have to take. It is our 500 meter per second. When this bullet moves forward, means this mass, means the gun will move backward. Let us denote it by capital V. Then what is the value of this capital V? This is the situation. So student, you have to write, since by third law, mass of gun into the recoil speed, means capital V, is equals to mass of bullet into speed of bullet, but their sign are opposite. That indicate one in forward, another is reverseward. So just substitute this value. 4 capital V is equal to minus of 0.02 into 500. So what we are getting here, capital V is equals to minus of 5 to the 10 divided by 4. Okay, 5 to the 10, after that there is 2 more 0 and 2 0 is being removed. So it is minus 2.5. The unit is our meter per second. Student, here the important thing is that negative sign indicate opposite direction. It is one thing. And the other is, what is the value of V that we have calculated? 2.5 meter per second. But this is the speed of recoiling the gun. Means you are observing this V is only 2.5 meter per second. But what was the forward speed of bullet? It was 500 meter per second. So here we are observing that this V, means recoil speed, is much smaller than the speed of bullet, small v. Why much smaller? Since mass of gun is large. Since large mass of gun. This we have considered in the free condition. Now if this gun is held by the shoulder along with their body, then the mass of body also added in this gun, and then this speed or recoil speed will also decrease, or that will almost negligible. Get it? So that's why it is first holded or connected with the body, then bullet is fired. So this is the observation. If the mass of body is increased, then its recoiling speed decreases. So this is the first application. What is the next application? The next application or common application you are observing, if you are coming out of the boat or jumping from the boat on the ground, so alighting from the boat, says coming out or alighting, leave it, of boat and landing on ground, then you will observe that the boat moves backward. Backward. Why so? A student, consider there is a boat in which earlier you were there. This is the land area. This is the water area. This is the boat. Now you are jumping, means you are here somewhere. You are now moving from this to this point. So while jumping from this boat to this one, you will try to move forward. As a result, a backward force is exerted by your leg over the boat. Because of this, the boat is able to move backward. So while the boat is tending to move backward, this boat exerts equal force over your leg. That's why again you are able to come out of this boat. So it is that one. So this is your reverse. So this is like your action. Then this is the reaction. Or with the leg you are first pushing the boat backward. That is the action. That's why your body moves forward and you are able to land on the ground. That will be the reaction force. Get it? So it is this one. Even this figure are also in your textbook. The third one, say launching the rocket. Launching rockets. A student, you are already knowing, to launch a rocket, large amount of gas is released from here. Okay, so these gases or exhaust gases moves backward. Gases moves backward. From where this exhaust gas is coming? Because of burning inside the engine. So there is engine. So when this, from this engine, the gases or fuel is burned and that exhaust comes out. So exhaust gases moves backward. This is basically the action. Therefore, a reaction in opposite direction, in forward direction, or reaction to move this rocket generated. Therefore, the rocket moves because of the reaction force. So this is the reaction force. Because exhaust comes out, that pushes the rocket forward. So this is the continuous process. So these are the few examples. A student, this is rocket is application of this third law. This is also application of law of conservation of momentum also. So law of conservation of momentum is nothing but the application of Newton's third law. So write down the fourth law of conservation of momentum. So what is this law of conservation of momentum? So this rocket launching sometime also stated in the law of conservation of momentum. Though this law of conservation of momentum itself is based on the Newton's third law, including the Newton's second law. Conservation of momentum. So what is this? This law of conservation of momentum, this is combining the third law. So Newton's third law combined with Newton's second law. Okay, because this momentum is dealing with the second law, but the third law have to be considered to get the result. So what is this law of conservation of momentum? Let us discuss. Laws of conservation of momentum. A student, these laws of conservation of momentum talk about a system. Say gun and bullet, that is forming one system. Bullet is one part of the entire gun itself. Now when the bullet is coming out of the gun, means because of its internal force, while you are triggering the bullet to move forward, the spring which was holding the bullet, that is released, that is able to push the bullet forward. So this tells that, so for a system is the different parts. When no any external force is applied, then its total momentum always remains constant. For a system, total momentum remains same or remains conserved. The same word is used here as conserved. Okay, conserved means it remains same. How is this? If we consider the situation like, say the two balls are there. Consider this as mass m1. Initially it is moving at speed u1. There is another ball m2 which is at some distance moving at a speed of u2. Let us consider u1 is greater than u2. What will happen? This distance will decrease and lastly this m1 will hit m2. Means the two will come in contact. So while heating, this u1 and u2 get changed. While this m1 is hitting this m2, so this m1 will apply some force over this m2 and m2 will also apply some force over m1. So this, while they are in contact, this action force of m1 will be equal and opposite to reaction force of m2. It is like that. So you may consider this as the action, this as the reaction. So reaction, this is doing the action. Finally, these two will also get separated and they start moving at different speed. m1, m2 is there. Their speed changed to say v1, the mass m1, and the speed of m2 changed to v2. Okay, a student. So this m1 and m2 is forming one system. m1 and m2. So this m1 and m2 we have to consider for calculating its total momentum as a system. This thing we have to keep in mind. Students, while considering this m1 and m2 as a system, we have to take care that this initial situation have changed to the final one. Initially it was u1 and u2. So this was the initial, this is the final. A student, here we are getting what is the initial momentum of M1, right? Initial momentum of M1. It will be M1 into U1. What is the initial momentum of M2? It will be M2 into U2. What is the total initial momentum? So total initial momentum is given by sum of this M1 U1, means this momentum of object 1 plus the initial momentum of object 2, M2 U2. Okay, it is like this. Now coming to this final situation, what is the final momentum of M1? A student, means M1 momentum or the momentum of mass 1 have changed from M1 U1 to M1 V1, because V is the final speed. We are talking for this one. This have to be taken. Similarly, we can say the final momentum of M2. What is this? M2
M2 V2.
V2.
What will be good? So what will be the total final momentum?
M1
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 V1 plus
V1 plus M2 V2.
V2.
Very good. Means this M1 V1 plus M2 V2. So what this law of conservation of momentum tells, that whatever this initial total momentum that you are calculating, this will be same as this total final moment. That is the mathematical statement. So this simply tells that total momentum remains same, means the total initial momentum will be equal to total final moment. It's simply maintained. So right, according to law of conservation of momentum, students, they simply tells that total initial momentum will be same as total final momentum. Means total initial momentum of this system, means if the system consists of more than one object, then we have to consider its total momentum. So let us consider for the two object. So two object system we are considering, two object system. So its initial momentum M1 U1 plus M2 U2, these were the initial, will be same as M1 V1 plus M2 V2. How this is derived, this we may do later, but right now we have to keep this in mind. So how is the statement? So the statement is like this. So right, in absence of external force, the total momentum of a system, the total momentum of a system remains unchanged. Here we are observing that the total momentum remains unchanged. That is, remains constant. It is this one. But keep in mind, the speed may change. So write note, there may be change in speed. Maybe change in speed. So speed change is possible. And individual momentum. And individual momentum. Like the two balls we have considered, their individual momentum have changed, but total momentum remains unchanged. Total momentum at any instant means any point of time remains unchanged. It is this. Based on this, the questions are framed. So how is those questions? Let me take one question from your textbook. Okay, it was all about our conservation of momentum. Now, what are the application of this conservation of momentum? It may be asked. Application means the uses of conservation of momentum. What is that? Very first that we have seen is the rocket launching. This is based on both Newton's third law as well as the conservation of, because conservation of momentum itself is the part of Newton's third. Rocket launching. Okay, it is not only this one, even so round table swimming. Okay, you are observing that the dancer is standing on a round table and suddenly it throws something and it start whirling round and round. So that is also based on this. So write round table dancing. It is. There are many more. Let me take one question from your book. Students, we may consider like this. Observe this. Your textbook. Here we are observing that this figure. So recoiling of gun. This can also be explained with help of conservation of momentum. Are you getting this boat moving forward? The person is moving forward. The boat is moving backward. This thing. See, this was the conservation of momentum. See, this bullet-based question can also be solved by applying the conservation of momentum. Though I had solved it without that. Students, let me take one question. Student, see this question. Explain why is it difficult for a fireman to hold a hose which affect large amount of water, which ejects large. Means when the hose is giving large amount of water, then fireman is difficult to hold, because water moves forward, then hose will try to move backward because of the reaction force. Okay.
Action and reaction.
Yes. Students, let me quickly answer this. Action is always equal and opposite to reaction. Explain how a horse can pull a cart. When they are equal, but still it is able to pull because they are not cancelled. Since they are not cancelled. Not cancelled. Okay. So when they are not cancelled, the horse is able to pull it forward. If this action and reaction are cancelled, then it cannot move forward because it will form the balance force. So action and reaction are not forming the balance force because they are acting on different object, not cancel, as they are acting on different object. So based on this, you have to answer it. The action force is the horse is pulling, and reaction force is what? The earth is just is trying to keep it backward. Explain why the hose means the fireman is holding this hose. He try to hold it, or he is gripping it somewhere here. So while holding, this water is coming out of this. So while water comes out, this hose moves backward. So this is the reaction. And this water comes out, this is the action. So what will be the tendency of this hose? To move backward. Therefore, the fireman have to hold it tightly. Hold it tightly. Otherwise, it will slip backward. Otherwise, it will slip backward by the reaction force of forward water. Reaction force on the hose, though the water is moving forward. Now see the third one, a rifle of mass. So it is given that, a student, we can understand like this. So rifle is given. So this have the mass of 4 kg and a small bullet which was inside this. So this mass is equals to 50 gram, means 0.05 kg, is fired with initial speed. So this is the speed of the bullet, that is 35 meter per second. Calculate the initial recoil speed. This is the capital B. So this is the initial. Finally, what is the situation? The situation is like this. This will move backward with capital V. The mass is M, and the bullet just moves forward. This have the mass M, and the speed is U. It is like this. So you may apply the law of conservation of momentum here also. A student, in initial situation, the mass of the bullet was the same whether it is moving or not, but initial speed, when this gun and bullet are together placed, at that time the speed is 0. So that way we can also do, or just by applying this formula, V is equals to minus of mv by capital M. By applying this, we can get it. So substitute mass is given as mass of the bullet 0.05 into the V is our 35 divided by 4. You will get the answer. Okay, student. So this was all about this chapter and this topic. So let us stop this topic here. Okay. More detail and more numerical we will do in our next class, but for your test, this much is enough. So let us stop this topic here itself. A student, any doubt in this topic, then please ask. Yes, student. Tell me any doubt then.
No
No,
doubt.
sir.